If you are thinking about buying a property in Spain and you come from another country, there's something you need to know. The process here does not work the same way. I am not just talking about mortgage. I am talking about the whole process: deposit, contract, arras, notary, valuation, timing, taxes, and documentation. In fact, many people feel confident because in their country the process is simple. And in Spain, they end up seeing things without fully understanding the consequences. In this video, I am going to explain clearly the main differences between Spain and other countries so you can buy safely and avoid expensive mistakes. In many countries, the purchase process and the financial process are more separate. In Spain, however, they are very closely connected because usually you reserve the property, sign a deposit contract, arras, and process the mortgage at the same time. And here's the key point: if you sign arras too early and then the bank doesn't approve your mortgage, you can end up in a serious problem. In Spain, the arras contract is not mandatory, but it is legally valid and binding. And if it is a peninsula arras contract, the buyer may lose the deposit if they fail to complete the purchase, and the seller must return double if they fail. Many foreign buyers do not know this and get a big surprise. In Spain, before committing money, you need to be very clear about your real mortgage capacity. Another very important difference: in Spain, the notary does not only appear in the final signing day. Under current mortgage law, there is a mandatory prior phase in which the notary gives your impartial and free advice before signing the mortgage, and there is also a minimum reflection period. This surprised many buyers from countries where the closing is handled mainly by a lawyer, a title company, or the bank itself, and where this kind of notarial intervention is not as important. In Spain, this is the key because it adds consumer protection, but it also adds steps and timelines that must be respected. In Spain, before signing a mortgage, the bank must provide standardized pre-contractual documents such as FIPRE, general information, FEIN, binding offer, FiAE, standardized warning sheet. This is not just paperwork for the sake of paperwork. It is a fundamental part of the process so the client can compare offers and understand what they are signing. In other countries, there are also disclosures documents. Yes, but in Spain the process is very structured and extremely linked to this formal sequence. Here, it is not enough to say, "They told me the rate on the phone." The serious, comparable, and truly useful document to make a decision is usually the FEIN. Another difference that creates a lot of confusion. In Spain, the valuation, tasación, plays a huge role because financing is usually calculated based on the lower value, purchase price, or appraisal value, depending on the bank case. This can be surprising for buyers from other countries who think, "I am paying 300,000 euros, the bank will finance it based on this number." Not always. If the valuation comes lower, you may need to contribute more savings. This is probably the most important difference for foreign buyers. In Spain, you cannot look only at the property price. You must add purchase costs, depending on whether the property is new built or resale. Taxes such as VAT, transfer tax apply, along with other costs: notary, land registry, administrative processing, valuation, etc. Also, since mortgage law, the distribution of mortgage staff costs changed. The buyer usually pays for the valuation, while the bank covers the notary for the mortgage deed, land, registry, taxes, and administrative processing, with some exceptions such as copies or certain fees is applicable. In many countries, buyers do not expect this level of upfront cost separate from the property price, or they calculate it differently. In Spain, it is very common to request a nota simple from the land registry to check ownership, charges or lines, legal descriptions of the property, and possible issues. In Spain, countries there are also systems to verify ownership and charges, but the use of the nota simple as a key reference document is very typical in Spain. Before you fall in love with the house, check its legal registry status. Many foreign buyers feel that in Spain everything takes longer, and partly that's true because there are more steps: bank assessment, valuation, FEIN and pre-contract documents, files sent to the notary, legal reflection period, prior notary meeting, acta previa, final signing. It's not just bureaucracy. It is a system designed to offer more protection and leave a clear legal record. So if you come from a country where mortgage approval and closing are faster or more flexible, Spain may feel heavy, but it is very important to plan the time, and especially if the seller is pushing deadlines. In some countries, people wait until they have a very solid pre-approval before seriously pushing a property. In Spain, this often happens. A property appears, they like it, they resell it quickly, and then they rush the mortgage process. What's the problem? That pressure can lead buyers to sign arras without properly controlling the real risk. That's why in Spain, strategy matters a lot. Analyze your profile first, estimate real financing, calculate total purchase cost, and then negotiate with confidence. If I had to summarize the biggest differences in Spain compared to other countries, they could be arras, very common and with real consequences; notary, much more active role even before signing; FEIN and documentation, highly formalized process; valuation, key to understand real bank financing; costs and taxes must be calculated from day one; land registry, nota simple, essential part of property due diligence. Buying in Spain can be done very well, but you need to do it with a proper method. If you are thinking about buying property in Spain, especially if you are coming from another country, leave a comment. What country are you from? And what surprises you most about the Spanish process?